Well, Mark, off camera, your facial expressions has just pretty much summed up, I think, how the entire fan base felt. That was a bit of a tense one, but a fantastic performance, and even more so a big win.
Yeah, look, we've won the last 2 times in the league here 1-0. You have to play with a bit of the resilience we played with today to do it. We defended very well around our box and in our box off of set plays. We limited them to chances from distance and crosses. The start of the game was good actually, and we looked okay, and then the switches of play were really hurting us. We tried something a bit different from the start. They played completely differently to how we watched them in the last 6 weeks, and stretched us out and made it hard, so we changed the shape again. We knew it was going to be like that today. Players had to be flexible and adapt to the game. They've done it a number of times in the game with the changes we've made, with the shape changes we've made, but we've got learners, we've got players that just adjust and get on with it. We've asked Paul Mullin to play 2 positions. He's chasing a left back all the way back at one point, and then he's nearly scoring at the back post. It just signifies what we are. Like, the work ethic's a joke, and you have to love that, because we haven't always had it. We've got a team that have got some sprinkling of quality in there, and probably a goal like that was probably coming for one side or another, whereas a little bit of a set play goal, but also just an error really from the goalkeeper where it's come off of. Having said that, we nearly score off of one just before where Mullin hits a back putt, like a really well worked set play. I'm rambling, Tom. Excellent result, massive.
Find a way has been sort of the key phrase throughout, well, mainly throughout the second half of the season really, but I mean that really defined it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and I think you have to accept you're going to defend large periods. In the end, we didn't expect them to build from the goalkeeper, but they did, and we let them get going in the beginning phase and tried to block the middle of the pitch and intercept it, so we had to suffer some periods without the ball and try to counter-attack effectively. We got a little bit deep at times, we didn't have enough calm and composure at times, but then there's moments where we're good and we used the ball well. So the game to and fro and swung from one team to the other. They're a good side, they're a tough team to play against. We've seen the identity they've got, and they played a little bit more like that today, but they had, Ryan Taylor and Ellison as 2 big target men in the first half, and then the second half they get Telford and Maynard on and Gambin, and they go for creativity and speed and pace, and we dealt with all of it. And it's a huge result on a weekend when the others have been beaten as well. But just from our perspective, the other 2 things I think you have to consider is, it sounds silly, but playing at 12:30 and changing your whole routine on a match day is difficult. But yet again, they dealt with it really well, and it was like pre-season. It was really, really warm, and there's a few sunburnt in there. Gary Waddock and Liam O'Neill, to name just 2. So hopefully we can get some after sun on them and look after them. But look, no doubt it's a big win.
Obviously, given the way that we don't want to look too much towards last week, but given the way that last week did go against a good side of Exeter, to then immediately come back with a well-organised performance like you did, and face a similar side who were a threat throughout as well, that must be a big positive to take from it as well. Yeah,
well, I think that is more like us, to be honest. We've seen more performances like that than last week's, where the game runs away from us. Quite often, I always think with our teams, when we have a bad one, we respond with that, and that's the base that we start from. So another really good reaction. Our reaction this year, or our results after defeats, is outstanding, and that's testament to our way in which we play, the attitude of the players, and just the environment that games are done when they're done, and you just crack on and get on with it, and that's real credit to all of the coaches, all of the staff and the players for the environment that they create, and the demands that they put on each other. So fantastic for everybody in that sense. It's a big win for us, but we have to keep winning if we want to get over the line. So the game comes again very, very quickly. A tough one Tuesday. They've got a real good shout at playoffs. Orient are on a good run of form, so we know how tough that will be. So we get on the bus and start watching it and get ready for it, because that's what you have to do. We knew this was going to be a big week, so to start this week with a win is important.
Absolutely, and 4 games to go, top. You must be pleased.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the positions will work themselves out over time. We know Cheltenham have got the extra game. The key was just getting points, and when others have dropped them, it keeps the gap as it is. Morecambe are doing great and chipping away at it and winning games. So that is what it is. We'll only stay there if we keep winning. So we have to do that.
Well done, Mark.